I can't believe you had 2,500 in your classes. It's disturbing.
The business school. So big.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like, hey, you pay all this money to go to school, but don't come to class.
I had 30 something.
So you could have taken your
32.
classes from home.
Whoa, you have a small school.
And just came up when the tests were, yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, I had bigger classes, but nursing was just 2 classes. We only composed of 64 people.
Wow.
Yeah, the nursing
and there were
program at
3-hour
U of A is
classes several
huge.
times. Like, I mean,
And
they were 3 hours.
You had labs and
Yeah.
stuff.
At Suffolk, the biggest class I had was like 400 people.
Mm-hmm.
That's the most I had.
I'd be in
Which
an
is still pretty
auditorium
big.
like
That's like normal at
like
U of A.
literally 10 times the size of this backyard.
Wow.
Like the biggest auditorium at UF, and there's like over like 2,500 seats, and every seat is filled,
That's crazy.
and we're all taking the same test.
Nuts.
Wow.
I hope the seats were close.
What?
I hope the seats were close.
They were pretty close. They were pretty close.
But you don't even know if you're looking at, if you're trying, what are you talking about, cheating?
That's what he
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
hinting at.
But what if you have no idea if the person next to you is smarter than you?
Agreed.
That would
But
be
when you don't study at all, you'll take anything.
Yeah, you'll take
Really?
anything you can get. And if they look confident,
Yeah.
cheat off them.
Well, I mean, there
If
is like
they're answering-
there's 5 different test forms.
Yeah.
But they're all the same questions. Like they don't change the
Yeah.
questions. So like
They're just mixed
my,
up, yeah.
I shouldn't even be talking about this, but my number 1 question would be like just number 10 on the other
But
person's.
you would literally look and be able to tell that?
I wouldn't.
Oh.
I had a science class that you could easily, there was only 2 of them, and you could easily tell which questions were which. They would be in different spots of the test, but like, I have that question. I look over and I'd flip to a different page and I'd find it.
But then, so that was only my freshman and sophomore year, but when you get to like the 3,000, 4,000 level classes, then it's like, all right, there's 3 questions on your test, and each one is an essay, and you have to write, like, you know, and you have to draw a graph, because I was an economics major, so it's all graphs, and just like understanding interest rates and exchange rates and, you know, whatever, foreign exchange currency bullcrap. So I would have to draw a graph, and I had to draw this graph, and then I have to put dotted lines of the LM curve is going to shift this way, and then when the LM curve shifts this way, the interest rate goes down, and the output goes up, and then you have to write an essay about, like, describing it, and it's just like, that you can't cheat off. You cannot cheat at all. I'm not saying I did cheat, because I didn't cheat, but you can, that's impossible, though. Like, copying someone's essay, like, what?
Yeah.
You can't do that. Like, we'd have to, you know what a blue book is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we would have to, like, fill up like 2 pages of a blue book for 1 question, and this has to just be 3 questions.
I actually never had to use a blue book, but my school does use blue books. We just use Scantrons.
I had to use blue books.
Blue books are the worst.
Communication
And then, like, you bring your
classes.
blue book, and then the teacher says, "All right, exchange your blue book with the person next to you."
Oh.
You're like, "Oh, damn it! I just wrote all the answers in there." Like, now the person next to me is gonna have all the answers. Damn it! Or just like the equations, you know, you just kind of like write in pencil, like top left corner, like.
Yeah, I did that all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. I would hurry and write down everything that I thought I would forget.
I would just I started like getting a good system. I would just wear long sleeves to every test, and I would, you know how QBs they have, you know, the quarterbacks, they have like the card, they look at the plays. So I would just like take like a note card, like a piece of paper, and like I would just fill up my forearm like this, and I wear long sleeves to the test, and then I would just like.
I was just all about the phone action.
You can't do that. If you get caught with your phone at school, because if you get caught cheating, at UF they're like super strict.
Yeah.
You get caught cheating, you're getting written up, you're going to the dean. You have to have like a meeting. You know, like you have to like show up in a suit and tie and be like, plead your case. Like, and if that happens twice, you get kicked out.
That's crazy.
So like it's super intense if you get caught.
We couldn't even have our phones on in class. What we weren't supposed to. What do you'd use your phone?
I mean, it was pretty strict at Suffolk too, but.
But you just sneak your phone?
Yeah, I mean, you always.
You just put it right on your lap.
I always had my phone. Yeah, but
it was an iPhone, right? So
yeah,
it's
it was
touchscreen,
easy.
yeah.
Yeah, it was super easy. You just keep
Plus,
it under the desk.
if you have huge classes.
And also,
well, there's like 10 proctors that walk around the hall.
I always wear a hat.
Yeah, it's not just like one teacher.
Oh, that's what we have.
I always wear a hat too, so like, I mean, the biggest thing about it is eyes. So how I would do it is I would just wear my hat kind of low, not like suspiciously low.
See, we weren't allowed to wear hats either.
Yeah, see, we were allowed to wear hats. We could wear whatever we want, and so I would just wear it like, you know, just like that forward, because then you don't have to actually like look down, but you can get the hat so like you just can't see the teacher's head. So you'd be looking, and then you like just go, like if Christine's there, I just go low enough so I can't see her head anymore, so she can't see my eyes. And then you pull out the phone, because then your head is still up, like looking at the test. And so you're going like this, and you're looking down with your
That's
eyes.
too much work.
Science.
That's
Oh,
too much
absolutely.
work, though.
I would just be like this, like if you're the teacher, just down enough so you can't see my eyes. Then you can't see my eyes. It looks like I'm looking at my test, but I'm looking way down here at my hand.
Oh,
See, the test-
you're smooth.
You wouldn't be able to do that at UF because the test, even with the 2,500 kids, there's the one professor who's in charge of the class,
Yeah.
and then there's 10 TAs. They're called teachers' assistants.
Yeah.
They're proctors, and
Yeah.
like they literally pace the room the whole time.
Yeah.
They're pacing the
The
room
TAs,
the
I had like a
Wow,
couple.
You guys have legit.
I had a couple TAs,
seems-
but they wouldn't like pace the room or anything. They just stand up there with the teacher.
So ours would pace the room.
That
extra
didn't
much,
make
and
sense
UF
for
is
them to
like,
stand there
2,500
with the
kids. Heck
teacher.
Well, because
Yeah.
they were a teacher's assistant.
It'd be
They
so
weren't worried
easy to
about
cheat
cheating.
if
They were
not.
just worried about
Yeah.
learning how to teach.
Oh.
Like they weren't there to like help
Wow.
stop cheating. They were there to like get help from the teacher and help the teacher.
yeah,
So
like
they would
just grade the test.
Yeah, just grade the test.
Collect
just,
the test,
just
pass them
yeah,
out.
learn how the
System
class
goes.
works. But they wouldn't like pace up and down because
Well, you-
there would
you-
only be, and since our classes were smaller, there would just be one of them. There was never more than one teacher's assistant, and they would just stand up by the teacher.
See, ours would be like being a teacher's assistant. UF is super competitive because you get paid.
Yeah.
You get paid to
Oh,
be a
it's
TA.
students.
Oh,
Yeah,
see,
students.
at Suffolk,
It's student. You have to get an A in the class.
And people will call you out if you're cheating.
Yeah. You
At-
get rewarded if you catch people cheating.
at my school,
Yeah.
the TAs didn't get paid.
It's serious.
The TAs didn't get
UF
paid.
is like the Harvard of Southeast. Like no one gets through easy, you know.
The TAs at my school didn't get paid. They just got credit. They got they got
Same
class
here at
credit.
U of A, that's what it is.
Yeah, they
That'd
just
be
got
nice.
credit, so they get credits for being
Yeah,
a
pretty
TA
sure
instead
they
of
get-
actually
they
going to
get-
class.
Paid at UF
Wow.
because they have office hours. So like, it's like a class for them. But like if I was in like entrepreneurship and like one of my friend was a TA and his office hours were Monday and Wednesday from 1 to 3, I can go in there and ask him questions, and he would have to like answer all my questions and stuff.
Yeah.
So like he would get paid.
Would your friend bust you?
Probably. I mean, I wouldn't take the risk, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did, you know? I mean, they could get in trouble. They're not going to risk their, you know, because then they get kicked out of their class. You know, and classes are so expensive these days. It's like,
I would love to go. Wait, which one's bigger? Oh, she's sleeping. But ASU or U of A? Which one's like the party school? Is it U of A?
ASU.
Is it
Yeah,
ASU?
we fight about
Yeah.
it all the time, but ASU is a bigger
I would love to go to ASU, dude, just
Oh,
for the scene.
Okay.
That would be so
okay,
sick.
I'll fold them before
Dude,
they
you
get
love
wrinkled.
UF too.
Oh,
dude.
absolutely. I want to go. I kind of want to go. Although I liked my school too because it was small, and so it was like you still had big parties. You didn't know everyone, but you always had like a core group of people that you knew. You know, so it wasn't like crazy. It wasn't like you knew everyone like a small town or anything. But it wasn't like so big that you go with like 2 friends and that's all you knew. You
Right.
know. So it was cool. You kind of had like your group. You would see a bunch of people you knew, and then there was a bunch of random people as well. My school was. I mean, I like that size.
There
But
were-
I think
there's,
I
like-
would like a huge school too, though.
Dude, you would. There's bars on campus.
That's so sick.
That's awesome.
like on campus. Like you walk right across the street.
My school
and
wasn't a
there's just, like,
campus.
bars.
My school wasn't a campus. It was just spread through the city, which was cool
wow.
too.
Really?
Yeah. So
So
like,
UF is like a square.
yeah, my school was like, you had like a
Sick.
building here, and like my school was the most center, Suffolk and Emerson, because there's Boston University, Boston College,
Yo,
Harvard.
one of the guys, John went to Emerson.
Who?
John.
Oh, he went to Emerson? What the fuck? Yo, John, what the hell?
He went to Emerson.
But yeah, fucking, there's BU, BC, Harvard, MIT, all these schools, like fucking Bridgewater, all in Boston, but they're all on like the outskirts. Suffolk and Emerson are literally, they're right next to each other, and they're the most center of the city. They're actually like in the very middle of the city. So my building, like my dorm building was like right on Tremont Street, which is the big street in Boston. Like that's where the park is. And then you walk across Boston Common, and then you walk up by the Capitol and walk like around the Capitol. There's a building behind the Capitol. Then you walk backwards like into like almost
crazy.
Chinatown. There's another building. It's just like a building here, a building
Okay.
there, a building there, but there's no actual campus. It's just like you're walking in the middle of Boston, and then all of a sudden there's a Suffolk building. And then you walk through.
That's so weird.
Yeah, and then you walk through Boston, just random, through the city, and then all of a sudden you see another Suffolk flag.
That's
And
kinda
you're like,
cool.
Oh, yeah, that's how Georgia State is.
Yeah.
And Georgia Tech, kind of, sort of.
I liked it that way too,
But
because
that's
it
how-
felt like I really wasn't at a campus. It felt like I was just
See, I
living in the
liked
city,
feeling
and
I
then
was on
like,
Yeah,
campus.
that's
Yeah.
how Georgia State
Just like
is.
walking through gardens and
I
courtyards.
like feeling like that. Yeah, I liked being on campus.
yeah, mine just felt like I was living in the city, and I happened to be going to school.
Wow,
crazy.
Yeah.
that is a weird. That's a different.
It's
feeling.
way different than like a campus.
Yeah, ours was like library, office building, school building,